this is the Ford Model T. Hi, this is Harshid and this is my story at the Autograph. Apart from also being in the restoration business, we run a club called the Gujarat Vintage and Classic Car Club, GVCCC. I am also a founder member of the club, and it was founded by my dad and Mr. Subodh Nath. This club, basically, the intention of building the club was to make a group of like-minded people who can enjoy vintage and classic cars on a regular basis. Because the problems they face is they don't have people to fix the cars, they don't have people to get parts. So these cars sadly sit around in houses like showpieces and people can't drive around and enjoy them. So ever since we've made GVCCC, at least the cars go around town thrice a year. We have regular meetups where we meet for drives or coffee. So at least people get to drive their cars around, they're more confident about driving their cars, they get to enjoy them with the family and make memories with them. And we also support people by providing parts, helping them restore car, providing any information they need, helping them join clubs, importing cars. Now import has been opened up for cars up to 1975, so if someone wants to import a car, we help import cars. So that is the whole intention of creating a club called GVCCC. Vintage cars, to be specific, my dad had collected 2 cars for his own personal use as a hobby. One was his very own car that he grew up in and used in school, and one was something that he had bought off when he saw before I was born. As a young kid, when I came to the factory with my dad in my vacations and all that, I always saw those cars lying around somewhere around the factory. So because I was a kid and free and all that, I kept bugging my dad that, why can't we fix this? It's just been lying around since so many years. You bought it, let's do it up. So he himself is a passionate guy about cars. He's very fond of cars, but since he had 2 sons at that time and he'd started a new business himself, he didn't have the time to do it. So as I started growing up, he had an old team of mechanics which he used to work with as a kid to fix his own cars. He started calling over those mechanics after my persistence to fix the cars. Those guys came over, made a team, and this particular property that we are sitting in was an empty factory that he had bought for something in the future. So this was an empty space. We got the cars here and started working on those 2 cars. Incidentally, it was his 50th birthday that year and he'd kept a big party and he wanted to display those 2 cars. So that gave us like a timeline to fix those cars and it gave us that push. And eventually we fixed it and displayed it for his birthday party, and that's how I got into restoration of cars. I was always fond of cars, but I never thought about getting into restoration, but this is how I got into restoration. And when I started restoring cars, to be honest, there was no know-how about vintage cars, at least in Ahmedabad. There were people who had cars, but very few people could fix them. They didn't have access to parts, they didn't have access to labor that could understand those cars. Internet forums and all that was very new at that time to get access to information of what mechanical references and handbooks that you had at that time. But eventually I started collecting more cars, buying more cars. I got into it 100% and this is where I am today.
So when you officially started Autograph?
In 2009. If I see a dead car, I don't want it to go to the scrapyard. I want to bring it back on the road. That's my mission when I see a car. So that's the motive behind fixing a car actually, that I don't want it to die, I want it to go back on the road. So the first car I started restoring as such was the Ford Model T. The Ford Model T, if you all know, is the world's first mass production car. I was very fascinated when I first saw it and when my dad told me that, oh, I found a Model T. The car came to us in very bad state. I have pictures to show you as reference, but I was brave enough to fix it for him and that's where it started from. We gathered parts at that time. Internet buying parts and all that was very new. So we joined Ford Model T clubs and all that and tried to gather parts. The ignition system is very different on that car compared to regular cars. So the mechanics out here could not understand what was missing and why the car couldn't start. Luckily, I went on a exchange program trip from school to Australia in my 9th grade. At that time, there was a teacher at the school that I went to as an exchange program. Her dad was a vintage car collector. So as soon as she found out that I'm fond of cars and all that, she said, "Why don't you come over to my house? I'll make you meet my dad. He's got quite a few cars." He was basically an MG collector. So she took me to her house and I saw like 25, 30 MGs parked around the house and I went mad. And he was like an 85-year-old man who came out and he started showing me all the cars. And he saw that I was very interested in cars, so he took a lot of interest in showing me all the cars. I couldn't resist it, so I asked him, I was like, "Listen, I have a Ford Model T in India and we can't start it and nobody can understand it. So could you please like tell me what could be the issue?" And he instantly told me that. I showed him a picture also, like this is my car and this is the engine and all that. And that time I remember I had a Nokia 6600, very pixelated camera and pixelated pictures, but he got the gist of what I was saying. He said basically it's a timer cap issue and your timer cap is missing. Timer cap is basically a distributor which we call in the newer cars. That's what was there in this car. And we ordered it eventually and the car cranked for the first time. That's where the restoration started from, and then we started building the body, rebuilt the engine, rebuilt the transmission, and eventually rebuilt every single component on the car. The whole process took more than 10 years, to be honest, because I was a beginner at it. I was also learning. There were not many people who could understand this car. It's very difficult to drive this car. Your controls are not like accelerator, brake, clutch. It's different. Your throttle is in the hand. The brake is a different pedal on the floor. There's no clutch. The reverse is a pedal on the floor, so it's very tricky to drive it around. So it took us all a while, but now it's been running since the past 10 years again. It's been good since 10, 12 years now.
So it's still in running.
Yeah, it's in running condition. We drive it around to all the vintage car rallies. We haven't driven it outside Ahmedabad as yet. Like all our other cars have been driven to Baroda and different cities for vintage car shows. But this car, because it's difficult to drive, hasn't been driven out. But one day maybe.
So can you take us through the
Sure.
restoration process?
So this is the Ford Model T. This car, when my dad found it, the previous owners used to burn kachra in it for like 30-35 years. So half the car had disappeared and it was this much in ground. So the entire body is rebuilt by hand. Seats of course were rebuilt by hand, all the mechanicals are rebuilt, and if you see the cosmetics and all that, all these parts were bought brand new, but like the grille, radiator, everything has still been original. That's about, it's got wooden wheels inside. That's the speciality about this car. Also, this is a transformation from a buggy to a car. When buggies transformed into cars and when people could move around with engines instead of horses or animals, this is the first car that got people on the road. So this is a 1991 3000 GT Mitsubishi. This particular car is the car that got me into the whole car scene, to be honest. Because this was basically owned by a family friend of ours. And he used to come to our place very often and I used to see him come in this and I used to run out as a small kid just to see him drive in to my house in this car. And for those days, this car was the most beautiful car according to me. Like, I've never seen a prettier car with such pretty body lines. So, of course, I was 7 years old. So there was no way I was going to acquire it. But I always wanted it as a kid. Like, this is my ultimate car that I wanted as a kid. So he eventually sold the car to someone in Delhi when I was like 10-12 years old, and I kept track of the car, of who bought the car, and kept calling him, speaking to him that how's the car doing, what's happening with the car. And apparently he was Arush, who owned Auto Cycle in Delhi, which is one of the biggest customization shops in Delhi at that time in the 90s. So Arush, he's the guy who built this car after it went from my dad's friend to Delhi. So Eklavya was the guy who bought the car, Eklavya Kukreja, and I kept calling him every year. What's the plan? Are you planning to sell the car? How's the car doing? Are you building the car? And he apparently did a very good job with the car. He spent nearly the same amount what he bought the car for to build the car. for track purposes and racing purposes and all that. So he got a brand new engine, forged parts, bigger turbos, new electronics, new suspension, and the car was built for the track. Late 2018, I got a call from Eklavya that I want to sell the car, and if you want it, you're the first person I'm calling. Since you've always called me since so many years, you've come to Delhi, seen the car every time you're here. So this is your chance if you want the car. So that time the car was sold for 9 lakhs. I bought the car for double the price, which was 18 lakhs. And it's been here around. I'm never going to sell this car. I'm going to build it further. There is a plan with the car. I've collected all the parts for it. I just have to get time to fix it. It's a Japanese car, but yeah. There was a lot of tech involved for 1991 in this car. This car has 4-wheel drive, 4-wheel steering. It's got active aero, so once you cross a certain speed, the spoiler flips. There's a lip from the front bumper that comes down. It's got adjustable suspension, so I think it was the most technologically advanced car in 1991. It's got the highest tech for that time. All the features that you see in the newer cars are all adapted from these cars. So this basically is the chassis of the same Fiat body that I showed you. Once we finish patchwork on this chassis and alignment of the chassis, we'll take the body, mount it on the chassis, and then we'll take the work further ahead from there. Mechanical work starts from here. So the yellow Morris that I showed you outside, this is a same car, similar model. This came to us in the same state, and this is a 90% complete car, almost ready to go on the road. We've painted it, finished all the chrome work. Interiors are ready, and we just have to test fit a few mechanical parts and take it on a test drive. But this is basically how a car rolls out. Coming in from that condition, this goes out in this condition. This again is a Morris Minor, but as you see, this is a 2-door. This was my granddad's car, my dad's dad. And my dad was also brought home from the hospital in this car. He used it through his school days, college days. When he met my mom, they went out on dates in this car. And it's been there in the family for like 3 generations now. So every now and then it goes through maintenance. It always regularly visits all our car shows, rallies. And it's one of our most cherished assets. The reason why this car was brought into our family was, as you see, that Morris is a 4-door and this is a 2-door. My grandmom wanted a car that was safe for the kids to sit behind, and they couldn't open the doors. So they chose this 2-door variant, but the 4-door variant was very commonly used in India as taxis, and this was the most commonly seen cars from 1950s to, I would say, 1980s on Indian roads. Now they've disappeared, but again, they're very, very cheap to acquire. For a vintage car, very cheap to maintain. So if anyone wants to get into the vintage car scene, this is an ideal car for them. This is an entry car for them. They can enjoy a vintage car, attend events, drive it around, and it's very easy to maintain. It's got very basic mechanical. So this is a 1932 Hudson SX. It's a Phaeton, as you see, and it's a 6-cylinder. This particular car is a very rare car. It's only one of its kind that survives in today's time, as I've been told from the club. And this car was also used by the Mahant for the Rath Yatra, which is very famous. This particular car did the rounds for about 35 years. After that, we acquired it, and it came to us again in very bad shape, and we've restored it, and it again attends all our drives and shows on a regular basis.
Maybe a moment when you find how this car.
Oh, there are so many cars. Every car is like that. Every vintage car you restore is a challenge. You always feel like this will not happen, but patience is the virtue. To be honest, if people want to get into the vintage car collection, I would be like, start from the basics. Don't buy fancy things in the beginning because you will not be able to maintain them and people will take you for a ride. But start with basics, learn to maintain your car on your own and grow from there. That's the easiest way out. So that's how you understand basics of how your car runs, how you can maintain your car, and that way you're not dependent on other people.